occasion, you may see one on the road or even parked somewhere.
We're not talking about the Google Street View mapping cars, although that's pretty cool too. We're talking about this guy, the Oscar Mayer Wienermobile. It is coming to the area this weekend. Actually, I saw it a couple of days ago, and then I couldn't stop singing that Oscar Mayer song in my head all day. First, it's going to be at the Skyfest, North Carolina on Saturday. You guys remember the song?
Only has a first name.
Yeah, I'll sing it in a minute. It'll be there from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. And then on Sunday, it's going to be at the Raleigh Market on Trinity Road from noon until 3. Everybody stop looking at me like I was crazy. Y'all know the song.
We're waiting for you to break out the song.
Everybody knows the song. You sing it, Wes, over the background.
Rod has an incredible singing voice.
He actually really does.
Not singing the Wienermobile song, though. Anyway, what's coming up at 5:30? Right. Y'all are too much.
Well, here's what we're working on for 5:30. Just 8 days until pandemic Medicaid provisions expire, but there are ways some people can stay covered. And before President Biden heads to the Triangle next week, he's paying a visit to our neighbors to the north.
Now, local news that matters. This is CBS 17 News.
President Joe Biden will visit Durham next week, but right now he's meeting with his Canadian counterpart. Good evening, I'm Liz Ortiz.
And I'm Nick Sturdivant in for Russ Bowen. CBS 17's Washington correspondent Basil John joins us live this afternoon. Basil.
Well, Liz, Nick, this is...
All right, Basil John live for us in Washington. Thank you.
The Hope County Sheriff's Office says a deputy shot and killed a man this morning. They say deputies were serving a high-risk warrant on Hickory Drive in Rayford, and the man who was armed did not comply with orders to drop his weapon. Neither the man nor the deputy have been identified at this time. The Sheriff's Office says the deputy is on administrative leave, which is standard procedure.
Governor Roy Cooper vetoed a bill that would have done away with sheriff background checks before allowing the person to buy a handgun. Sheriffs currently have the ability to refuse a permit based on signs of mental illness, domestic abuse incidents that might not be captured in a national database, or other indicators that a person could be a danger to themselves or others.
Some North Carolina leaders want to raise the speed limit to 75 miles per hour on certain highways. The current speed limit is 70 miles per hour. Lawmakers who support the bill say it makes sense, especially for rural roads. However, travel safety experts say roads became less safe in other states that raised the speed limit.
And we'd like to hear from you. Do you support 75 miles per hour speed limits? Right now, 64% of you are saying no, 36% say yes. To weigh in, head to the CBS 17 News app, click on the menu in the upper left corner and select CBS 17 Votes. A number of Raleigh police officers have new titles today after a promotion ceremony in downtown Raleigh this afternoon.
Yeah, CBS 17's Dina Harley was there as the department celebrated those officers, but they are still looking to fill some vacancies.
Chief Estella Patterson.
The push to limit social media use for teenagers is gaining momentum.
Utah became the first state to pass a law requiring parental consent for platforms like Instagram, Snapchat, and TikTok. It goes into effect next March. Other states like Ohio and Arkansas have similar bills in the works. Supporters of these bills say it will help protect children's mental health, but some experts say educating kids about social media is more effective than banning it.
Cyberbullies, inappropriate material, adults who prey on children, they're all accessible on these platforms, just a simple click away.
Research has shown it's not the amount of time necessarily per se that one spends on the app. It's really about the types of use. And I think that's really where I think the education can be really powerful.
Now, Utah's new law also includes a curfew banning minors from using social media accounts after 10:30 at night. Well, tensions are rising in Syria after a series of attacks on American armed forces.
Yeah, the Pentagon says President Biden ordered 2 airstrikes on terror groups in the country. Video shows the aftermath of the attack that hit 2 different buildings. You can see it here. The strikes were in retaliation for an attack that killed a U.S. contractor and injured 5 service members. Air defense systems at the base were not fully operational at the time of the attack.
My understanding is that there was a complete site picture in terms of radar. All that said, as is the case in any type of attack, U.S. Central Command will conduct a review to assess what happened.
The Pentagon says a second attack involved, quote, lots of rockets, but no American casualties. It also says the terror groups behind the attacks were affiliated with Iran's Revolutionary Guard and used a drone made in Iran.
4 of the former Memphis officers involved in the Tyree Nichols death can no longer work in law enforcement in Tennessee. The Peace Officer Standards and Training Commission voted to decertify the officers. The Memphis Police Department has also requested the decertification of all 7 former Memphis officers fired following Nichols' death. 5 of them are charged with second-degree murder.
North Korea tested a nuclear-capable underwater drone during military drills earlier this week. That's according to state-controlled Korean Central News Agency. KCNA says the drone can carry out a stealth attack that would create a, quote, radioactive tsunami. The drills were in response to the U.S. and South Korea holding joint military exercises. The person in charge of prop weapons for the movie Rust wants the manslaughter case dismissed. Hannah Gutierrez-Reed faces charges in the death of cinematographer Helena Hutchins. Gutierrez-Reed and star of the movie, Alec Baldwin, have both pleaded not guilty, but could face 18-month sentences if a jury finds involuntary manslaughter applies. The motion to dismiss is expected to be filed within the next 2 weeks.
King Charles III postpones his state visit to France. It was supposed to happen Sunday, but social unrest led to the king to delay the trip. Widespread protests in France continues over President Emmanuel Macron's changes to the pension system. Macron had hoped the royal visit would help improve relations between the two countries, which has soured in the years since Brexit. A Parents' Bill of Rights passed through the House of Representatives on Capitol Hill. It was a major campaign promise for Republicans.
They say the bill would give parents more say in their kids' education, but as Jesse Tenor reports, Democrats argue it would hurt students.
We're keeping our commitment.
In Washington, I'm Jesse Tenor.
All right, some more good news for Carolina Panthers fans. The Panthers' offensive makeover continues. The team announced it has agreed to terms with wide receiver DJ Chark. Well, in his 5 seasons with the Jaguars and Lions, Chark had caught 177 passes for more than 2,500 yards and 18 touchdowns. It's the latest move in what's been a busy free agency period for Carolina after they signed running back Miles Sanders and receiver Adam Thielen. They also own the first overall pick in next month's NFL draft.
UNC Health named one of the best places to work in healthcare. That's according to Becker's Hospital Review. The list includes 150 hospitals and healthcare centers that commit to, quote, advocating for diversity in the workplace, promoting work-life balance, and boosting employee engagement. Earlier this month, Newsweek ranked 3 UNC hospitals as some of the best in the world.
So a new survey finds almost half of American parents with adult children still support them financially. Get this, more than $1,400 a month on average. Now, according to Savings.com, parents are most likely to help with modest expenses like groceries and cell phone plans, but many also help their children pay their mortgage or rent. Researchers say inflation, slow wage growth, surging housing costs, and student loan debt has weighed down young adults in recent years.
$1,400 is a lot of money.
A lot of money. Well, still ahead, much more on CBS 17 News.
Yeah, coming up at 6, a local woman gets a life-changing donation. This is a story you don't want to miss.
Plus, local public service workers say they can't keep up with the cost of living. See how much of a pay raise they say they need.
But first, pandemic Medicaid provisions will end in just a matter of days. What you need to know to make sure you're still covered.